Well, good Tuesday morning, all you YouTubers. Hope everybody had a good and productive Monday. Mine went pretty well, so that's always nice. Traffic this morning seems to be a little crazy again. Of course, school's back in, so anytime school's back in, traffic around here gets nuts. So, just something you gotta deal with. But I hope everybody has a good start to their Tuesday. So last night, I was listening to a podcast, and I just have one question. Are you 50 and over and think it's too late to start YouTube? Well, think again, because it's not. Number one, you're not too old. Number two, YouTube is not too saturated. There's billions of people searching on YouTube. And number three, YouTube is actually pushing small channels right now. And how I know this is, twofold actually. One, I've had people interacting on my channel that have said to me, hey, this just showed up in my suggested feed. And of course, I'm a really small channel. I mean, I'm tiny in comparison to most of the channels out there, I suppose. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He's like, yeah, I really like your content. It's you had some really informative videos. And I'm like, awesome, thank you. But number two, I see a lot of other videos from some big YouTubers that are talking about how YouTube is really pushing smaller channels right now. And I think what they're realizing is that some of these huge channels like the Mr. Beasts and Marquez Brownlee and things like that, Casey Neistat, they're so huge, they're so well known. I mean, they could just think about doing a YouTube video and people are going to watch it, you know what I mean? I know I do. I watch a lot of Marquez Brownlee's, videos. I was watching one this morning about a Fiat 500e that he's testing right now. So, I think they realize that the smaller channels that are really trying to get their foot in the door, that are producing, decent content and people are watching it, they're really trying to put that out, which I think is awesome. I think they need to, because I wouldn't say it's an unfair advantage, because these other people work really hard to get where they're at, and that's awesome. But I don't think YouTube needs to push their content over small channel content. So I'm glad to see YouTube is making an effort to kind of balance the playing field, for lack of a better term. I don't think it's out of balance. I don't think these large channels, and there's many more than just those, but I don't think they're unfairly, manipulating YouTube by any stretch of the imagination. I hope to one day, be in their shoes. It takes a lot of effort, I'm learning, to get there. It's not as easy as it appears, but it's a lot of fun, and it's been a great learning experience. So I've really enjoyed the whole process. So that being said, don't procrastinate. Just get out there and hit that record button. Being in our age bracket, yes, I'm at 56 something. We've been through a lot of life experiences, and that kind of gives us, in a lot of ways, an advantage over some of these newer YouTubers coming on the scene that are, half my age. They just don't have the life experience. I have a ton of things that have happened, over my life that I could discuss. Now, not all of them fit into a specific niche that I want to create videos in. Like this channel is really focused on, helping those 50 and over get on YouTube, start their YouTube channel, and be successful. Be able to generate their content and have understanding on how to, record, how to edit, how to post, best practices. And sure, I have still a lot to learn, but I have learned a lot just in this year of being on YouTube. So my 30 years of IT experience comes into play as well. I have 15 years of having smart home technology. So there's a lot of things that I've already have experience in, and this past year in YouTube has taught me a whole bunch. So I think I can help others in that journey and avoid some of the pitfalls that I fell into, because I fell into many. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, I think all the time, we learn more from our mistakes and our failures than we ever do from our successes. And I don't always look at them as failures, because if you learn something from it, it's more of just an educating moment, right? As well as being successful. If you have a really successful video that hits all the marks, well, go back and review what you did in that video and then try to replicate that and learn from that success as much as you learn from something that didn't work as well as you wanted it to. Learn why it didn't work and don't do that again. So I know it's a lot easier said than done, trust me. I look at the analytics and I look at all kinds of information, trying to dissect and figure it out. And while I figured some out, I haven't figured it all out. But one other thing that the podcast was talking about, the podcast was actually with Sean Cannell. They talk about just being burned out, them not being burned out. Let me rephrase that. They talk about getting burned out, in that what they see a lot of new YouTubers doing is just spending so much time creating and editing and posting that they're burning themselves out early on into the process. And I know I've been talking a lot about this lately. I have a couple other videos I, did just, a week or so ago, but it's a real important aspect of getting into this. Now, like myself, for example, I'm scaling back on some things that we had started because I thought it was the right thing to do, and it hasn't done anything at all. It's just taking my time and it's producing zero benefit. I have a full-time job that I go to every day, that I work the job. Then I come home and I'll, create content, I'll edit my content, I'll post it, I'll pull my shorts out. On the weekends, I'll spend, hours recording and editing video to post it. I'm not burned out at all, but I really have to be careful, because what I find happening is I'm getting stretched really thin in some areas where I'm still focusing on things that are not producing results. And I'm a year into it and they've produced basically zero results. So I have to prioritize my time and make sure I'm putting my time into what's being effective, which is pretty much my YouTube channels and not all the external sources that I have my fingers in. I want to just put that out there to say, watch your process and that it doesn't get too overwhelming for you. And don't be afraid to not do something because you're going to stretch yourself too thin. Mental health is an absolute paramount thing to consider. You need to make sure that your mind is healthy and sharp and focused. And that's why I named this channel Wellness, Wisdom, and Wealth. And it's based on, taking care of yourself, making sure you're not burning yourself out, making sure you're not stretching yourself too thin, making sure you're getting enough sleep, which I don't do. And then wisdom, making sure you're educating yourself on the processes before you make big decisions and spend money, because again, I've spent way too much money on things that I didn't need to spend money on. And then, the wealth part is obviously taking those aspects and being successful in your YouTube endeavor and your affiliate marketing endeavors to generate income. And, it can generate a decent amount of wealth. So that's the whole point behind the name of this channel, is taking care of yourself, educating yourself, and hopefully reaping the financial benefits of doing that. So that's really important to keep in mind. Now, so as you go into this Tuesday, just keep those things in mind and be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up if things seem like they're just not going that great, because you have peaks and valleys through this whole process. And figure out what process of creation and editing and all that works for you. make sure you download that PDF that's in the description that talks about how to find your niche and the top 5 niches that are currently trending on YouTube, because that's really going to help you get started, because you want to make sure that whatever content you're creating fits your niche that you want to focus on as you move forward. And then from there, you can, all the puzzle pieces just kind of fit into place. When you figure out your why and your who and your how, you're good to go. But it's not as complicated as it seems. Definitely hit me up in the comments if you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions. Yeah, I'm here to help as much as I can. I've actually had several people reach out just to say, hey, I've been thinking about doing this. And so I think I'm kind of getting my point across, which is awesome. That's what I want to do. I want to help people realize that, yes, now is a good time to get on YouTube. Probably as good a time as any has been in the past, because of how YouTube is pushing these small channels in front of, viewers that are searching. So that's awesome. Get out today and grab that phone, grab the camera, whatever it is you use or want to use, hit that record button and crush it. I hope you have a terrific Tuesday, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.